Imagine this, a crisp winter night in Pretoria, the kind that makes the air feel so fresh and clean, you can't help but think nothing dark could possibly happen. You know those nights where the suburbs are so quiet, it's like the world is holding its breath. Lawns are trimmed to perfection, almost like they're showing off, and every house glows with that cozy light. Warm, inviting families just hanging out, enjoying peaceful routines. But right in the middle of all that picture-perfect calm, one of the strangest crimes South Africa has ever seen unfolds inside a home that should have been the safest place for everyone inside it. This is the story of the Pretoria Sleepwalker murder, a case so bizarre that even seasoned detectives had to pause and go, wait, what? It was like something out of a movie, and psychologists were debating it like they were on a reality show reunion episode complete with drama and unexpected twists. So, let's talk about our guy, a polished, successful attorney. Seriously, he wasn't some scruffy, chaotic criminal. No way. This man looked like he ironed his socks, and you could practically see his clean reputation shining. Steady career, the kind of person neighbors describe as, oh, he's lovely, always greets you at the gate. He lived in a neat suburban home with his family, including his daughter and her boyfriend. And that boyfriend, he wasn't just some random dude hanging around. He was practically part of the family, respectful, well-liked, the type mothers trust and fathers tolerate until they eventually warm up. The household vibe was calm, very normal, very boring. But you know what they say about boring. It can turn into a nightmare when someone snaps, and that's exactly what happened here. But according to our attorney, he never snapped. In fact, he claimed he wasn't even awake. Now picture the scene. It's deep in the night. Everyone's asleep. The streets are quiet. No dogs barking, no alarms, no disturbances. The boyfriend is asleep in a separate room. The daughter's asleep. And the attorney, in his room, supposedly deep in one of those sleep cycles where you're so gone you could miss a thunderstorm. Then a gunshot cracks through the stillness. Then another, then another. The daughter jumps awake, terrified, and rushes out. She sees her boyfriend on the floor, bleeding, barely alive. Meanwhile, her father is standing there holding the gun, confused, dazed, like he's half in the world, half not. His face doesn't show rage, or shock, or guilt, just this bizarre, empty confusion, like someone who opened the fridge and forgot what they came to take. He doesn't run, he doesn't try to hide the weapon. He doesn't even try to explain, he just looks lost. When the police arrive, he says something that immediately sends the whole case spinning into madness. I don't remember doing it. I was asleep. The cops look at him like, sir, please, because we've heard excuses. People say they blacked out, they panicked, they were drunk, they don't know what came over them. But sleepwalking with a loaded gun, that was bold. That was Olympic-level try your luck, but because he was a respected attorney, and because sleepwalking can get dramatic, the police had to consider the possibility, so investigators start digging. First, they checked his bedroom, nothing out of place. No sign he'd been startled awake or dragged into consciousness. They checked his medical history. He did have a documented past of sleepwalking, but nothing violent. Nothing that suggested he'd ever turned into a night mode John Wick. They interviewed his family. His daughter said he had episodes of sleepwalking where he'd go to the kitchen and make cereal at 2 a.m. or stand outside like a statue. Harmless stuff. Strange, but harmless. Then the big question, how did he get the gun? And this is where the sleepwalking defense starts going shaky. Because the gun wasn't just lying around like a remote. He kept it locked away. To get to it, he had to walk consciously to a specific spot, retrieve the key, open the cabinet, load the weapon, and walk to the room where the boyfriend was sleeping. That's a lot of steps. Sleepwalkers might cook noodles or wander outside, but going through a full procedural routine like they're checking items off a grocery list. Hey, rare. Very rare. Forensics also found that the shots were fired from close range, deliberate range, not like a random, confused aim. And the pattern didn't scream unconscious, clumsy movements. It screamed intention. It screamed purpose. It screamed, I meant to do this. But here's the part that made the case tricky. Sleepwalking can produce bizarre, purposeful-looking behavior. People have driven cars, climbed out of windows, even eaten entire meals without remembering. So experts get called in as sleep specialists, psychologists, neurologists. It turns into a full academic debate. Some say his brain might have been in a dissociative state. Others say absolutely not. This was conscious behavior dressed in a convenient excuse. The courtroom turns into a real battleground, you know? The defense paints this guy as a gentle soul with a history of sleepwalking, a man who genuinely loved the victim like a son. They keep saying there's no motive, no anger, no past fights, nothing that would make him want to commit murder. Why would a man kill someone he had no issues with? They argue passionately, only an unconscious mind could have done this. It is almost like they were trying to tug at the heartstrings of everyone in the room. But the prosecution, they come in swinging with fire. They're not holding back. They argue that the steps he took to get the gun and operate it required way too much coordination for someone who is asleep. They really highlight how calm he seemed after the whole incident, not confused like someone waking up from a nightmare they created, but almost eerily composed. They dig into the inconsistencies in his story, pointing out how he remembers some parts but not others. Sleep doesn't work like selective editing, right? It's all or nothing. And then they pull out their biggest weapon, his profession. A lawyer knows how to build a narrative, they say. He knows how to create doubt. And then there's the daughter's testimony, which is the emotional core of the whole thing. She's completely torn, trying to defend her father while also grieving for her boyfriend. Her life is split in two in just one night. And then she says something that really shakes the courtroom. My father looked like himself. Awake, aware, but he kept saying he wasn't. It's heartbreaking, isn't it? After weeks of testimony, the case tilted. Experts leaned more toward the act being conscious. Forensics didn't support sleepwalking. And the judge didn't tee by the idea that you could unlock a gun safe and fire precise shots while dead asleep. In the end, the sleepwalking defense was rejected. He was convicted. But here's the haunting part. To this day, he's absolutely convinced he was asleep during the whole ordeal. No confession, no explanation, just this eerie silence hanging in the air. Even from behind bars, he insists he has zero memory of pulling that trigger. It's either the world's most committed lie or one of the strangest sleep-related tragedies ever recorded. Crazy, right? It's like a plot twist you'd see in a thriller movie. And that's what really sticks with people. It's not just about the crime itself. It's the thick fog of uncertainty that surrounds it. Sleep is supposed to be our safe haven, a time to recharge and escape from ourselves, our impulses, and those darker thoughts that sometimes creep in. The idea that you could do something horrific while you're completely unaware, or that someone might hide behind sleep as a convenient excuse, is downright unsettling. It's like a horror movie where the villain is someone you trust. It makes you wonder, how well do we truly know the people we share our lives with? And how well do we even know ourselves? That's the Pretoria Sleepwalker murder, a case where the line between being unconscious and acting with intention got so blurry that even science found itself scratching its head, unsure of what to make of it all. It's wild to think that something as mundane as sleep could lead to such a dramatic, life-altering event. This case isn't just about crime. It's a deep dive into the human psyche, revealing just how fragile our understanding of reality can be. Isn't that just mind-boggling?